This is a sample of the information provided as part of the flexible training resources available through HACCP.com. Our training courses are designed to provide training participants with an understanding of food safety and quality system elements and also offer user-friendly assessment activities and competency checklists to complete the training cycle. Warehousing and distribution. Key definitions for warehousing and distribution. Good hygiene practices or GHP, practices adopted to ensure appropriate levels of personal, environmental and food hygiene are maintained. Good manufacturing practices or GMP, practices adopted to ensure appropriate levels of control is achieved within a food business environment. Good transport practices or GTP, practices adopted to ensure appropriate levels of control is achieved within a food transport environment. Good warehousing practices or GWP, practices adopted to ensure appropriate levels of control are achieved within a food warehouse environment. Storage. The act or enterprise of providing a suitable temporary or permanent location for goods and materials. Transport. Transport or transportation is the movement of items from one location to another. The term transport is commonly interchanged with the term distribution as related to the movement of items from one location to another. Warehousing. Warehousing is the act or status of facilitation of specified storage and handling of items. Warehousing and distribution development. When considering the development, documentation and implementation of warehousing and distribution within food safety and quality management systems, the following information should be considered to ensure effective outcomes. About warehousing and distribution. What products are being warehoused and distributed? About good warehousing practices. General standards for good warehousing practices. About warehousing and distribution. Warehousing is the act or status of facilitation of specified storage and handling of items. The key activities generally covered by warehousing include receiving, identifying, holding, assembling, dispatching and distribution of foodstuffs or related materials. Warehousing and distribution must be managed in an appropriate manner to ensure food safety and quality standards are maintained. It is important to consider that warehousing and distribution requirements may differ significantly for raw materials, packaging, chemicals, work in progress and finished products. In alignment with the storage and handling requirements defined for relevant food products and materials, the maintenance of well-implemented warehousing and distribution standards promotes compliance and lessens the risk of food safety or quality issues arising from mishandling. You may also find further warehousing and distribution related information within the storage and handling element at HACCP.com. What products are being warehoused and distributed? It is important that food safety and quality systems, and the personnel working with them deeply acknowledge the correct storage and handling parameters for relevant food products or related materials. Key information is commonly included within documented finished product specifications and must be used to correctly develop and document HACCP-based food safety plans. It is not uncommon to find that entities participating within the food warehousing and distribution sector are unaware of the specific conditions under which food products or materials are being stored and handled against, including food safety-related parameters including temperature, humidity and sensitivities. Leading warehousing and distribution sector participants implement and maintain detailed systems regarding the food safety and quality risk profiles for the products or materials they handle. About good warehousing practices. The term good warehousing practices is often used in conjunction with related terms such as good manufacturing practices and good hygiene practices, all of which are bound by the requirement to facilitate safe and suitable outcomes against legislative requirements, industry guidelines and recognized best practice. Like related terminologies, good warehousing practices cover a range of expected elements, including personnel standards, premises and equipment design and construction, chilled and frozen storage facilities, vehicle design and maintenance, process control management, good housekeeping practices, preventative maintenance programs, calibration of measuring and monitoring equipment, cleaning and sanitation programs, pest control, and staff training. In addressing the legislative requirements or industry codes of practice or food laws, the two primary concerns of good warehousing practices are meeting the mandatory provisions of industry codes of practice or food laws, and adhering to the advisory provisions and following an appropriate path to meet the mandatory provisions. In addressing these requirements, the Good Warehousing Practices policy and procedures should provide the basis of what food handlers and associated people need to follow in meeting the legislative requirements. General standards for good warehousing practices. The following sections provide examples of key considerations of standards related to the implementation of best practice good warehousing practices. Personnel standards. Sources of possible contaminants must be prohibited within designated warehousing and distribution areas. Activities such as eating, drinking, chewing gum or tobacco and smoking should only be permitted within specified areas. Persons with infectious medical conditions or open wounds such as sores or boils must be excluded from operational areas and product contacts. Toilet facilities must be kept closed and should not open directly into any area where food products are stored or handled. Effective hand hygiene facilities must be installed and maintained with liquid detergent, disposable paper towels or other suitable hand drying amenities. Premises and equipment design and construction. Where applicable, warehousing and distribution sites must be licensed with relevant regulatory authorities. Food storage and handling areas must be located away from strong odors, dust, smoke, vapor and other similar contaminants. Warehousing areas should be of a sufficient size to ensure contamination risks can be managed. To prevent condensation, food storage and handling areas must be properly ventilated. Floors, walls and ceilings should be constructed from impervious, smooth, durable and crack-resistant materials. To prevent water pooling and facilitate drainage, floors should be constructed with a suitable gradient towards drainage points. To prevent leakage, condensation, or formation of mold, ceilings should be well constructed and finished to suitable standards above food storage and handling areas. Doors should be constructed from smooth cleanable materials. Entry and exit points where commodities are transited should be sufficiently wide and must be suitably constructed and maintained. Storage and non-storage areas should be properly assigned to promote GWP outcomes. Sufficient lighting must be provided to permit effective inspections, operational activities and tasks such as cleaning. Shatterproof covers must be provided for all light fittings to ensure that products and materials are not contaminated by foreign objects. Exposed food or food material handling must not be facilitated within food storage and handling areas unless where specific, suitably constructed and maintained amenities are provided for such activities. Chilled and frozen storage facilities. Chilled and frozen storage facilities must be suitably constructed and maintained in compliance with regulatory standards. The capacity of chilled and frozen storage facilities must be capable of maintaining specified food material temperatures and conditions at all times. Potentially hazardous chilled foods or food materials are generally stored at 5 degrees Celsius or (40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Frozen foods or food materials are generally stored at -18 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Overloading of chilled and frozen storage facilities is avoided as this may facilitate food safety non-compliance. Storage racking and facilities must allow suitable temperature-maintained storage of foods and food materials. Maintenance for chilled and frozen storage facilities must be scheduled and facilitated on a perpetual basis. Temperature monitoring devices must be suitably accurate to manage related food safety and quality hazards. Transport vehicle design, maintenance and capacity. Transport vehicles must be suitably constructed and maintained in compliance with regulatory standards. Where applicable, transport vehicles must be licensed with relevant regulatory authorities. The floors, walls and ceilings of the food or food material transport modules should be constructed from impervious, smooth, durable and crack-resistant materials. Where applicable, the capacity of transport vehicles must be capable of maintaining specified food material temperatures and conditions at all times. Potentially hazardous chilled foods or food materials are generally stored at 5 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Frozen foods or food materials are generally stored at -18 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Overloading of chilled and frozen storage facilities is avoided as this may facilitate food safety non-compliance. Storage racking and facilities must allow suitable temperature-maintained storage of foods and food materials. Maintenance for transport vehicles must be scheduled and facilitated on a perpetual basis. Temperature monitoring devices must be suitable accurate to manage related food safety and quality hazards. Process control management. Process control management is a term used to define the parameters of compliance within any food business operation. Controlling processes is a prerequisite for the management of safe and quality food products in conjunction with the application of the HACCP plan within any food business operation. Food and non-food products must be stored and handled separately. A proactive FIFO policy must be followed when storing or restoring containers of foods in designated storage areas. Suitably constructed and maintained pallets should be used to keep products away from floor and wall contacts, and to avoid damage and contamination risk through loose nails and/or wooden splinters. Good housekeeping practices. Suitable good housekeeping practices should be facilitated at all times. Reasonable stacking heights should be observed for ease of handling and to prevent products from damage. External areas of the warehousing and distribution site must be suitably maintained. Did you know that HACCP.com includes resources that allow you to create, manage and implement GFSI and HACCP-based food safety and quality programs? Improve your food safety and quality skills and knowledge? Train and develop your team to create better food safety and quality outcomes? Find suppliers and service providers to partner with your business? The information and training resources available through HACCP.com include a variety of formats, such as website content, MP4, MP4 and text, MP3, PDF and slideshow. Are you ready to take the next step in your food compliance journey? Visit HACCP.com today to create your profile and access the full versions of our food safety and quality information packages and much more.